Next time you listen to Rakim, just remember that anything prior to Rakim coming out, nothing sounded like that. There was no rapper out prior to Rakim that rapped like Rakim, that had a voice that was as heavy as Rakim.
For days and days with rhyme displays that engrave people's X-rays.
I could take a phrase that's rarely heard, flip it, now it's a daily word.
What if I told you the greatest MC in hip-hop history didn't chase fame? He ran from it? While every other rapper was stacking chains, stacking hits, and stacking headlines, one man kept disappearing at the peak of his powers. No scandals, no feuds, no reality show meltdowns, just silence, and a legacy so heavy that Nas, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar still bow their heads when they say his name.
Yo, Rob, when I first heard your music, couldn't tell me in a million years I'll be on stage, saluting you, honoring you, giving you an award, my G. Like, it's crazy. Like, this is a rapper's dream. This is a hip-hop artist's dream, my dude. This don't make no sense. It's not regular. This don't happen.
He's also always on my list because, to me, greatness is not only how well you do something, but if you were the first to do it. Rakim was the first person that I heard that started using like inside rhyme schemes,
right,
and coming back at the end and hitting the, you know what I'm saying? So he did something that hadn't even been thought of yet.
Original.
Yeah, it was like, and he single-handedly pushed the genre forward to be more complex lyrically.
I would have to say a nigga that invented the flow pattern that Nas uses, that everybody uses today, which is Rakim. Real shit. Because before Rakim, nigga was rapping, I fall for sin, fall for salt for days. Been falling for doom, many time in the maze. And we young about this nigga came and just switched the whole shit, put a whole new pocket in it where niggas couldn't keep up and they had to study it. So I like to say Rakim overall.
This is the story of William Michael Griffin Jr., the kid from Long Island who became Rakim, the God MC, and then walked away from hip-hop not once but twice on his own terms. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why silence can hit harder than any diss track ever could.
Rakim was he had the biggest gap from artists recording next to him at the time. I think everyone was on he was on a different wavelength. The first person with the most charisma on stage that we've ever seen.
And I would love to take this moment to give him his flowers, may I?
Yes,
but people don't understand Rakim changed hip-hop. He's a game changer. There's certain moments in hip-hop that you can say people changed the game, right? You could say that Melanin, Flash and them changed it. Then Run DMC changed it. They stripped it down, right? LL came in, became the first solo single superstar sex symbol hip-hop had ever had. Rakim changed it because everything became less aggressive. Think about the way he rhymed, his rhyme patterns, things that he said that no MC had ever said.
Before the chains, before the mic, before the legend, he was just a kid in Wyandanch, New York, growing up in a working-class black household filled with music. His mother sang opera. Music wasn't a hobby in that house. It was the language everyone spoke. By age 7, Rakim was already writing. Not for an audience, not for attention, just to hear his own thoughts out loud. He'd record himself, play it back, and rewrite every line until it felt right. A private ritual most kids that age can't even imagine.
But he was rapping, when Run was rapping like, with my Adidas, Rakim was rapping like, I'm the Arsenal, I done delivery, he was rapping so far ahead of everyone else at the time that I don't think there's ever been a rapper with a bigger gap.
But here's the twist. Nobody taught him how to rap. His real teachers were John Coltrane and Charlie Parker, jazz legends who showed him something most rappers of his era never even considered, that space and silence could hit just as hard as sound.
The way he put words together, it just wasn't bop, 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 lyric, bop, 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 that rhymes with that rhyme. He changed it, and he quieted it down and made us listen as well as enjoy the music, but you listen to what Rakim said. right? You heard 7 MCs in a line, 7 more brothers that think they can rhyme, take 7 more before I go for mine. That's 21 MCs ate up at the same time. You had to go, wait a minute, 7 times 3, that's 21.
Yeah.
You know, you had to.
Yeah.
Rakim later described it as stillness inside the noise, long pauses, controlled breath, a rhythm that felt more like a saxophone solo than a rap verse. And before any of that jazz influence took over his artistry, Rakim wasn't even planning on being a rapper. He was a quarterback, a leader on the football field, someone the whole school looked to. It took a freestyle battle in high school to change the trajectory of his entire life. At just 15 years old, going by the name Kid Wizard, he stepped up to the mic with none of the theatrics other rappers relied on. No yelling, no flexing, just presence. One witness said watching him felt like watching a preacher deliver a sermon through music. That was the first sign the world was about to meet something different.
Turn it around. I remember, what was the line you said? I'm the R, turn it around, it still comes out R.
Name is Rakim Allah. R-A stand for raw. Switch it around, still comes out R.
Now think about it. Come on now. Everything was hurrah, aggression, everything. Rakim.
Follow me into a solo, get in the flow. You can picture it like a photo. Music makes mellow, maintained to make melodies for MCs, motivates the breaks, I'm everlasting.
I heard check out my melody in the other one, Eric B's president. I said, why do he call himself the president? Who's thinking like that? And automatically, in my neighborhood in Queens, they was doing a dance to your song as soon as it came out. It was called the WAP. I didn't understand how there was this synchronized dancing in the projects to a song that just came out called the WAP.
Here's what separated Rakim from almost everyone else rapping in the 1980s. He wasn't interested in simple rhymes and quick punchlines. He was studying history, philosophy, and meaning. In his own words, he didn't just write lyrics, he built systems. That's exactly why a Rakim verse from 1987 still rewards a close listen today. Layered meanings, religious references, mysticism. Nothing thrown in randomly, every word placed with intention. And then there's the technical revolution he sparked almost quietly, internal rhyme. Instead of rhyming only at the end of a line like most rappers of the era, Rakim rhymed inside the line itself, guided entirely by his own breath and timing.
Rakim pioneered these techniques that changed hip-hop forever.
Thinking of a master plan. This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. So I can deep up, still coming up, relent. So I...
For Rakim, rappers were rhyming at the end of each bar. He decided to put rhymes internally within the bar, creating internal rhymes. But he didn't stop there. He began using multi-syllable patterns in his rhymes, which hadn't been done before.
Might just search for a 9 to 5. If I strive, then maybe I'll stay alive. So I walk up street, whistling this, feeling out of place, cause man do I miss.
These complex techniques created a blueprint for our modern day rap.
He didn't need a booming beat to stay on rhythm. He carried the rhythm inside himself. That single innovation reshaped what flow even meant in hip-hop. And it's why, decades later, artists from Nas to Eminem to J. Cole to Joey Badass all point back to this one man as a foundational influence, despite the fact that he never had a single day of formal training. Just a deep ear for jazz, a sharp mind, and a belief that hip-hop was something you live, not just perform.
Me and Paris listening. You hear what we heard? We heard Chaos One, we heard Light, we heard Biz, we heard Rakim, and we heard Public Enemy. Wow. So imagine you sitting there. So how do we have to come when you hear that? Paris said it into what you're saying. Niggas said we signed the R, that music was whack. We dropped the album Strictly Business, thought we was full, 30 days later.
I don't think that's something.
You don't sign it, but this is what they were saying.
Okay. Right. Back then.
Don't forget though, when that EPMD shit was going on and Rakim from the next town, whatever, that shit, I ain't no joke. Whatever, you can get a smack for this. Then EPMD came out like a dig 'em smack. You smack me and I smack you back. So niggas thought that was the diss. Again, if you don't know that, the hood took that. So now Rakim is pissed. I'm like, damn, no way. There's no way you want beef with him. We can't beat him.
In 1985, in Wyandanch, a chance meeting changed everything. Rakim crossed paths with a local DJ named Eric B, introduced through a mutual friend. On the surface, it looked like just another connection in the local music scene. In reality, It was the spark that would redefine an entire genre. Eric B. immediately noticed something different in Rakim's homemade tapes. A calm, focused delivery that didn't try to prove anything. They started recording demos together at their high school, and in 1986, that partnership produced Eric B. is President. The streets felt it instantly. Then, in 1987, came the album that changed the game permanently, Paid in Full. This wasn't just a record, it was a statement, a line drawn in the sand for what hip-hop could be. Years later, MTV would rank it as the greatest hip-hop album of all time, and critics still call Eric B. and Rakim one of the most influential duos in music history. But underneath the acclaim was a quieter revolution. Rakim rewriting the rules of what rapping even meant. He wasn't following the beat. He was creating his own rhythm within it, like a smooth saxophone solo layered over the drums. Before Rakim, almost nobody talked about flow as its own art form. After him, it became the standard every MC was measured against. Being crowned, the God MC sounds like a dream. But living under that title comes with real weight.
Joke, you can get a smack, but this ain't no joke. Paris came back and said, like a digging smack. You smack me and I smack you back. Not knowing.
You know the frog? I was just writing time.
And then, right.
I never caught that, man.
Right. Yeah, but the two towns did, because it's Long Island.
Oh, okay.
And Rakim made this shit called Follow Leader. Said a brother said, dig him, I never dug him. He couldn't follow lead enough, so I drug him in the danger zone. So he went. And I can't be not with him.
After Paid in Full and its follow-up, Follow the Leader, Rakim had reached the top of the mountain. Major platforms ranked him among the greatest rappers ever. He wasn't just part of the culture anymore. He'd become the standard. But as the acclaim grew louder, things behind the scenes got messier. In the early 1990s, right as hip-hop was exploding commercially, Eric B. and Rakim split. And it wasn't about the music. It came down to contracts, ownership, and money. Suddenly, instead of writing verses, Rakim was dealing with lawyers and business disputes. And just like that, he went quiet. No dramatic exit, no big announcement. He simply stepped away entirely on his own terms.
Let's keep it real. Paris was incredible, but we're not fucking with him though. So he comes on, so he comes on the 25th anniversary of the East West Coast shit, does it in front of us, shakes the mic, Nori, and rolls it like dice, like and rolls the mic.
To y'all?
I don't know this because he was robbed. Period.
Okay.
So him and Paris was at the bar talking.
This is how you know old niggas came out.
So him and P at the bar talking, and P said, "Yo, E, let me talk with you real quick." So P called me over, and he squashed the beef right there in the bar.
Was Rod there?
The hood made that beef. Just because of what you thought you might have heard. So don't forget, if your man gassed you up, said, "You heard him say that shit to smack me and smack you back," so it went crazy. So now you're gonna be, we're only 2 towns over.
It would take almost 8 years before he returned. In 1997, Rakim came back solo with the 18th letter. No Eric B, no DJ, just him. Even the title carried meaning. R is the 18th letter of the alphabet. His own quiet way of saying, I'm still here. The album debuted strong and went platinum, but this was a different Rakim. Less flashy, more reflective, shaped by years of navigating an industry machine that had tried to reduce him to a contract.
Single-handedly, if you would do a family tree of hip-hop and people that came directly from other people, there is no Jay-Z, there's no Biggie, there's no Nas. That smoothed out style of rhyming came from Rakim.
2 years later came The Master. Critics respected it, but the timing worked against him. Hip-hop was speeding up, chasing club records and quick hits. Rakim stayed loyal to his slow, controlled style. Then, around 2000, came a moment fans still talk about today. Rakim signed with Dr. Dre's Aftermath label. On paper, it sounded unstoppable, the God MC over Dre's production. But after years of back and forth, the project quietly fell apart. Not because of drama, but because of 2 different visions for what the music should be. Rakim summed it up simply. He wanted the music to speak truth, while Dre wanted street stories. One artist chasing awakening, the other chasing the club. They couldn't reconcile those visions, and Rakim stepped back into silence once again. No big shows, no award stages, no tours, no headlines, no manufactured drama. Nearing 40 years old, while other artists were reinventing themselves to chase relevance, Rakim did the opposite. He left the industry behind entirely and settled into a quiet life on a farm in Connecticut. No cameras, no record deals, just a pen, some peace, and daily reading of the Quran. 10 full years passed without a single album. 10 years where an entire generation grew up without ever seeing the God MC perform. Then, in 2009, he returned with the Seventh Seal. No massive marketing rollout, no radio blitz, just a message delivered entirely on his own terms. Because for Rakim, the return was never about charts. It was about meaning.
I feel like the world now is giving Rakim what he should have
Rakim
gotten.
was the one back then. I remember when I wasn't, I heard paid in full.
Like a regular person who's just reading like a complex.com, a person who's on TikTok, a younger kid, now they're talking about the Rakims.
Rakim changed the way people rap. Like I remember it was like, because my sisters was listening to like Salt and Pepper, and there was Kid and Play and all, but you heard Rakim, you was like, what is that?
Rakim is almost 60 years old. He is an artist. And he's not stuck in it. He is it.
Walk on the sidewalk while on street talk, and then talk to Hawk New York. I go to
He's an MC. He's the same MC he was when he was 16 years old, because he's Rakim. But you think he's being funny. Like, is this guy for real? Because he's 60. No, that's Rakim.
They trace is a scar they keep. It's when I speak, they freak the sweat, the technique.
To really understand Rakim, you have to understand what happened underneath the music. Back in the mid-1980s, when hip-hop was consumed with proving who was toughest, Rakim looked inward instead. That search led him to the 5% Nation, a movement built around the idea that a small group carries the responsibility to awaken others. That's the moment William Michael Griffin Jr. became Rakim Allah. Not just a stage name change, but a full statement of identity and purpose. He didn't see the microphone as a weapon. He saw it as a form of focus and reflection. You can hear that transformation clearly on the Seventh Seal. The title itself nods to chaos, change, and rebuilding. Rakim's way of saying hip-hop had lost its way, and he'd come back to remind it what it was supposed to be. The lead single, Holy Are You, played over a cold, almost sacred instrumental, and it didn't feel like a comeback single chasing radio play. It felt like a ritual. He pulled from theology, Eastern philosophy, Persian poetry, and the teachings of Malcolm X, weaving all of it into rhythm and cadence in a way no one before him had attempted. And while other legends chased acting roles, fashion lines, and media deals to stay relevant, Rakim chose the opposite path entirely: a quiet farm, a simple routine of reading and writing, and zero interest in flash. Rakim never needed a scandal to stay relevant. His mindset alone set him apart. To him, hip-hop was never just a business. It was something closer to sacred. Every album felt like a chapter. Every verse carried purpose. That's why the industry's biggest voices keep returning to his name. Nas has credited Rakim as showing him what rap could truly be. Eminem has pointed to him as the artist who taught a generation how to turn every word into a weapon. Kendrick Lamar references him as a foundational inspiration. J. Cole, Joey Badass, and Lupe Fiasco all carry pieces of what he started. And in May 2025, that influence was formally recognized on an entirely different stage. Rakim received the George Peabody Medal, honoring an impact that reaches far beyond music. Standing at that podium, he didn't talk about fame, sales, or awards. He talked about truth, about music as a tool to illuminate the inner self and free the spirit. He told the crowd he was simply the one holding the lamp. The real light, he said, was within them. That's the same message that's been running underneath his entire career, from Paid in Full to the Seventh Seal. That self-knowledge and inner freedom matter more than fame ever could. No brands, no flashy business empire, no chase for relevance. Rakim built something different, a blueprint for artists who step into hip-hop looking for meaning instead of just attention. Maybe he never even cared about being called a legend. Maybe he just wanted to stay real, to live every word he wrote. In an industry where everyone is copying everyone else, Rakim still stands alone. Proof that rap can guide you, challenge you, and even change you. If this story changed the way you see Rakim, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop history, and drop a comment telling us which Rakim era hit you hardest. See you in the next one.
There was always the rumor that you got wrote Summertime for Will Smith.
Will owe me for that. He stole that.
He definitely stole the flow and the delivery.
Yeah, and I used to play with people too. They used to be like, yo, Rod, did you write that for Will? I was like, yeah, Will, you still owe me money, man. Still ain't get paid. When I heard it, the track came on. Then he started rhyming. I'm like,
Is a groove slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony.
It's absolutely trying to sound like you're on Summertime. Without question.